Hi folks, in this next video I'd like to show you my 10 years old triple guillotine, bench press and slip rolls. Like I say, I've had it for 10 years and it's never gone wrong, not one part of it, never batted an eyelid basically. It's been a superb machine. I use it for cutting up to 20 gauge I think it is. It will cut slightly thicker in softer materials, but that's about it, 20 to 22 gauge. And I use it for cutting silver for making jewellery, etc. And I've actually rolled cartwheel rims on the rollers as well, up to 1/8 of an inch thick. If you use it for larger diameter or thickness of material, in this side you've got a little gear, and they have a little shear pin inside, which is what I use is one of these brick ties, wall ties. It's an eighth of an inch stainless steel. If they ever snap, just replace it with a little piece of that about 10mm long, and it goes into a little groove at the side. That's the only thing that's ever gone wrong, because I over stressed it slightly. But other than that, it's been really good. So I will put the camera in the tripod and show you how accurate it can be. So I'll have to manoeuvre things into a better position so we can see. I'm going to show you how fine a cut it can do. So if I arm myself with a piece of, I'll measure it for you. A piece of German silver, that's 0.36 of a millimetre. So we'll place that into the guillotine at the bottom. That's 8 inches long. I'll overlap it by 1/16 of an inch or so. Bring the pressure down so it gets hold of the material itself. Then keep your fingers back from the front and give it a sharp jab, and you'll see just how fine it can cut. I'll pull it out from behind. There's a strip about 2.5mm wide, 2 to 2.5mm wide. Does an excellent job. In fact, I've just turned the jaws round after 10 years. I didn't really need it, but now that I've gone on to finer work, I just wanted that ultimate edge. And there's one down the bottom there. I lift it up and you can see the other one here, about 20mm deep, and they're hardened, and you can regrind those if ever needed. But another good test is the paper test, and if you do it on the opposite end, which is the bit that cuts last, and you'll see it makes an excellent cut. More than adequate for doing jewellery work. I mean, there are lots of others on the market at 3 times the price of this. I mean, if this was, when I bought this 10 years ago, it was just over £100. I think they're, with VAT now, they're just over £300. But I certainly wouldn't give it a miss if you're gonna do jewellery work. Ideal machine. So we'll do a quick roll at the top. Now if I measure this, that's exactly 1mm thick German silver, which I'm making a platter disc out of. So we'll roll that through. To set up the rolls, what I do for the thickness of material, push your material in and tighten it down till it just nips on the top there, and just back it off half a turn. Do that on both sides. So it just nips, back off half a turn, just to give it some freedom, and then roll through. And then on the back you've got two little, I'll show you. On the back you have two adjuster knobs here, one at this side and one at the other side. What I've done, if you look closely, I've put two little lines in, so I know when I can give it a full revolution. So we'll give it two turns on that side and two turns on that side. 1, 2. Bring the rollers up a bit and roll it through again. Make sure it's putting up square and go through again. And you can see two rolls has given it a slight more curve, and two turns has given it another probably half an inch, if that. So we'll go another two turns. And gives you an idea how quick it rolls. As it gets tighter, it will start to roll faster, put a bigger and bigger curve in, as you see there. So it is quite fine. You can adjust it quite finely to a line drawing if you wanted to put that onto a piece of paper to mimic a line on a piece of paper. So it's a really good tool. And the bender is self-explanatory. The brake press, I should say. The top half stays still and the jaw comes up to meet it, and you adjust it by loosening these two 6mm Allen keys at the side. And how I do it is I get a piece of metal, quite a stout piece of metal, and if you want to adjust it, put that in the middle, lift it up just to hold the blade in place, otherwise it drops. Undo the two nip bolts, one there and one here, and then with the pressure on you can undo these two bolts here, as you can see on the top. Just do them half a turn or a quarter of a turn, and then just put the pressure against the jaws and then tighten the nuts back up, otherwise this drops down because there's no way of holding this in place. That's how I do it. So I've got a piece of brass in there, as you can see. Makes a lovely, really neat tight curve. Obviously it depends on the thickness of the material to how neat that curve's going to be. This one's actually set up for half a millimetre, so if I put a half a millimetre piece in there and do it, it makes a more accurate bend. So highly recommended for the budding jewellery maker or jeweller. And like I say, 10 years old. Got this one from Axminster Power Tools in Devon, who I highly recommend. And yep, a really good machine. There's not a lot more to say about it actually. The only other thing that I could mention is the top roller comes off. There's a little cam there, you open that and then the roller can come out, so you can release your circle if it's gone full circle, if it's a large piece. So that just simply slips in the side. Got these two little bushes on one on either side, and then put that cam back into the lock position. That's it. Superb machine. It'll do 12 inches right across, and it does come with like a hold down bar on springs at the front here, but I prefer to scratch the line onto the material, then put it in and cut to the line, because then you can actually keep a better hold of your workpiece. Sometimes the hold down bar at the front lets the plate slide slightly, as if you're doing a full length cut. So if you're gonna do a full length cut at full thickness, what I would recommend is, I'll get a couple and show you. If you're cutting an expensive piece of silver, you don't want to make any mistakes. So what I do, you can envisage that as a full sheet going across, put that up to the line, put two clamps on it, clamp it down tight, then cut. Then it stops the plate from sliding in, because it's a progressive guillotine action, you see. So always use, if you're going to do a critical piece, full length, put it up to the line, clamp it down solid before you cut it. I've found that the full length, it doesn't always stay on the line if you use the supplied pull down bars that come with it. So apart from that, there's just a couple of grease nipples on the side there. I give them a quick squirt every other month, and highly recommended. So I hope that's helped anybody decide what kind of guillotine they're going to get for doing the jewellery, or fine crafts. She's looking a bit worse for wear now over the years, but it's still as good as new. I'll let you have a look at the back of it and give you a look at the overall strength of it. It's a really solidly built thing. This bar adjuster here at the middle, that's for pushing the guillotine jaw forward in the middle. But I've never had to adjust that. It's never gone wrong. And to adjust this bed backwards and forwards, you've got two screws here. You just undo the main bolt there and screw that backwards and forwards. And I have mine, what I do, I pull the blade down so that it's covered right across, then I slide the table up to the blade itself, so it's only just clearing, only like literally a couple of thousandths of an inch, and then you tighten the blade back up, the bottom shear blade back up, and then you can turn it quite easily. After you've set that up, ideally it wants to turn over quite easily like this. If it doesn't do that, the shear bars are too close. I mean, I don't bolt this down, but it's ideally if you could bolt it down would be better, but I never do anything that heavy. I'll have to secure it as much as that. So it's quite a heavy machine. It's about 100 pound or so, I think it must weigh, or slightly over. So that's about it really. Oh, you can actually move the handle into this side if you want to, or you can purchase two handles, and you can do it with two hands then. So there it is. I'll put the link into the description below so you can see where you can actually buy one from. And like I say, this one's from Axminster. I think the sticker came off it yesterday somewhere. It's down is it down on the floor there somewhere? But there's lots of makers rebadge this machine. They're all exactly the same machine. And there's another one by Warco, W-A-R-C-O. I think they're made in Taiwan. I think this one's made in Taiwan. They do a slightly smaller one, but it looks exactly the same parts, same functions, and they all have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers on the press brake, which you can remove for getting in and out if you're doing awkward jobs. You've got I think that one there's 4 inch, 3 inch, 2 inch, 2 inches, and then 1 inch. Yeah, 1 inch, 2 inches, a 3 inch and a 4 inch. So I think that is it. So if you're wondering about getting a guillotine, this is the one I would recommend. Very, very, very good value for money, and built like a tank, and it'll do anything and more than what the jeweller wants. So there she is, and once again, thank you all for looking. Bye for now.